Hi everybody, Dan Illman along with Matt Bernier taking a look at race number 5 at Belmont Park on Belmont Stakes Saturday at the Belmont Stakes distance of 1.5 miles. It's the Grade 2 Brooklyn Stakes, and I want to remind everybody, don't miss this opportunity to cash in at drf.com/bet and get your new DRF Bets account. Speaking of opportunity, one of Matt's various sons in the thoroughbred world, let's take a look at the field for the Grade 2 Brooklyn. You've always liked opportunity east of the Rockies. He has done very, very well east of the Rockies. He's done very, very well at Santa Anita as well. You told me, and this was sacrilegious, I believe, before we came on the air, you said it's over for him.
Yeah, I think it's over.
Come on.
I hate to just be as just straightforward as that, but I love him. He's 7 years old, though. He's had his fair share of injuries in the past, and I know he blew out that field in the Tokyo City 2 starts back, but there was nothing in that field. He's going to need to be much, much tighter to win a race like this. And the Ali Sheba, he didn't pick his feet up. I know he had a little bit of a problem going into the first turn, but to me, he's a far cry from what he once was. Does that mean that he can win this race or he can't win this race? I'm siding against him in here. I think he's just a little bit over the top.
I think you can look at it as a negative and a positive. I think Bob Baffert realizes that Opportunity is not a top handicap horse anymore, but that doesn't mean he can't win 1.5 mile races against horses that can't step in the handicap division. The Tokyo City was kind of that race. Now this race is stronger than the Tokyo City, no doubt, but it was at least nice to see in the Tokyo City that Opportunity can still run a little bit. I won't fault him in the Ali Sheba. That Backyard Heaven's a nice horse. Good Samaritan could be a factor in the Met Mile. I'm surprised at you dumping Opportunity already. He could easily win this race. I know you love him. Listen, there are sharper horses, no doubt about it. There are younger horses. There are horses with better tactical speed. One of them is the number 3 Hard Study, a horse that's won 5 out of his last 6 starts. And the one time he lost, he caught Seymour Dini when that horse freaked over a muddy track. This is a horse that handled 1 3/8 miles last time out. He's trained by Todd Pletcher. There are a lot of things to like about Hard Study, a horse that could easily win the Brooklyn.
Yeah, I like the fact that it just feels like this is what Pletcher wants him to do, go these longer distance races. You go back, look, he won the Birdstone up at Saratoga. He won the Flat Out most recently. It seems like distance is really going to be his friend. So this 1.5 miles, I'm not concerned about that. And he's 4 for 4 in the exacta at Belmont Park. There's a lot to like, maybe other than the price.
Pletcher also has the 8 outplay, and to me this is a fascinating move for Todd as we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. Outplay better beyond the lead, stretching out from 7 furlongs to 1.5 miles. But this is a horse that stayed 9 in the Curlin last year. You had a little bit of a thing for him. That Pennsylvania Derby was a tough spot and a tough race shape for him. Maybe he is racing himself back into shape. If they leave him alone on the lead like this, I wouldn't be surprised if he wires them.
Yeah, all along, I've wanted him to go long, go 2 turns. And really, when he came back and he won that race at Gulfstream, it was the most professional he's ever been. He changed leads on cue, and he looked like a good thing. And I was a little bit surprised they didn't try to go a different route. Now, maybe it was because Always Dreaming had run in the Ali Sheba, and they didn't want to run this horse against him, or whatever else it may have been. I just was surprised they went 7/8 with him again. Now we stretch him out, and I know it seems like a very significant move going from 7 to 12. I think this is what he kind of wants all along, the long distances. Won't be surprised at all if this horse excels at it. Whether you think he's good enough to beat these horses, that's another story. I happen to think he is.
If he doesn't stay, however, the 9 War Story might be breathing down his neck, and War Story won this race last year very impressively, and he's looked good in his last couple of races. Big Fig against weaker company at Tampa Bay Downs 2 starts back. Last time out in the Charlestown Classic, a lot of try in that 3-turn race. He attacked in tandem with the winner, Something Awesome, in between horses on the turn, down on the rail in the stretch. Just a good, solid effort, and if he runs his usual race, you know he'll be right there.
I mean, if you draw a line through the Pegasus, really, he hasn't run a bad race since the Hooper of last year in March of 2017. He's pretty consistent. I know those 2 runs at Saratoga over last summer, they were sort of blah, but guess what? Gunrunner was in there. I'm not going to hold that against him. He's rock solid. If he shows up with his best effort, he's right there at the wire.
Arguably, the horse with the most upside in the race belongs to Chad Brown. That's the number 4, Take Your Guns. This is only going to be start number 6 for Take Your Guns. We have a positive formulator. In fact, very limited data, but Chad does well 3rd off the layoff with last out winning older horses on dirt, at least from an ROI standpoint. This horse has won his last 3 starts on fast ground. He's going to get tested for the distance, and he did get a dream pace scenario last time out.
Yeah, he certainly did. They went fast in those middle fractions. You can see by the red color coding with Timeform US, and you see how far back he was, the fact that he was able to come and roll by and win by open lengths. Also, I'm a little bit skeptical about the field that was in there. You see Uncle Si. We know Uncle Si at this point. He came back and earned an 89 in his next start. The 5th place finisher, though, he was the next winner with an 87.
We'll talk about the 30-to-1 shots real quick. Carlino, no match for Hard Study last time out, first time blinkers, although he had absolutely no pace to run at. The problem is he's been beaten by Hard Study. He's finished behind Mills. His race 4 starts back puts him on the fringe. That race looks like an outlier right now.
I would take him back, make one run, hope to hit the board.
Mills is an old timer, but to me, he's kind of more a claiming type. He was taken for $40,000 3 back. David Donk has done a real nice job with him. I think he's the kind of horse that will stay all day. He just lacks a winning profile against weaker horses.
I was going to say, I mean, this seems like it's a little bit tough for him, but again, distance-wise, probably not a problem.
Backside of the Moon took blinks off against Hard Study last time out and couldn't get to him. He's a horse that occasionally shows a little bit of tactical speed. He'll be a big price for Leo O'Brien, but his last 2 races have fallen under the 90-buyer plateau.
Yeah, just simply put, right now, the form that he's in, he's not fast enough.
Giant Payday, mostly a turf horse. I always thought there was a little bit of ability here for Giant Payday. I thought he got a setup 2 starts back in a race that was washed off the turf when he came with a big late run to finish 2nd. This is a tough spot.
The one thing I'll say about him, he's not totally exposed on dirt, and I think if you want to just take a complete wild card in here, I think it might be Giant Payday. I don't know if he's good enough, but I would take a flyer on him.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 2 Brooklyn Invitational. Matt looking for a Giant Payday without play, going gate to wire. Then you'll see Matt running to the window, wire to window, outplay. You've liked him 7 to 12. A lot of times it's worrisome when you got a guy like Todd Pletcher in your corner. You don't worry about it that much.
Honestly, I mean, that's kind of in Pletcher I trust. You got Velasquez aboard, and again, I've thought that he wants distance all along. I think he's an interesting talent, and if he runs well here, then it opens all sorts of options for them going forward over the summer.
Give me numbers.
In this spot, I'm going to go 8, 9, 3, and 2.
War Story will be my top pick. I think he sits off outplay, and I think he makes it 2 Brooklyns in a row. You know he's going to run his usual good race for the high percentage conditioner Jorge Navarro. I'll go 9, 3, 4, 2 in the Grade 2 Brooklyn. Race number 5 at Belmont. I'm not going to use the pun again. Let's just throw up the graphic. DRF.com/bet. Join the Belmont Stakes action with free cash. Approximate post time for the Brooklyn, 2:03 Eastern. Best of luck.